Okay, here we are with the proverbial blank slate. We're going to start filling this in. And the first step to any email is the subject line, which is by far the most important because without a great subject line, your email doesn't get opened. The contents don't get read, they don't reply or engage with you. Let's do subject here. You will usually want to split test the subject line against quick question. Quick question is almost always a winning subject line because it is something that's kind of ubiquitous to most people in most instances and oftentimes will get an open. In this example, we'll say that we're selling CRM solution. What I don't want to do is send a subject line like 10 more leads this week because that looks like spam. What we'll do instead is maybe something like boosting close rate or missing quota. That'd be a good one, right? Pretty interesting. Google Doc is capitalizing this, but I would leave this lowercase, right? So it sounds like it's coming from a friend. The thing that these two have in mind, right? Quick question and missing quota, they pique the curiosity of the reader, and the reader then is like, ooh, interesting. What's going on here? I got to read this to learn more. A couple of other options. Subject, topic, at company. So sales at HubSpot. Personalization, I wouldn't take it too far and get too fancy because it can get you in trouble. And often it doesn't need to be personalized in the subject line, I find. Okay, so moving on next is to the body of the email. So in the body section, we want to start with something like just a welcome, right? And this can be pretty straightforward. It can be hi, first name. And these curly brackets are just a variable usually in the email software you're using. And so you just write, I like to write the email with a variable so then I can plop that in, and every email gets a different thing, right? The person's first name in this instance as the introduction. So hi, first name, and make sure that the first name exists for all of the records that you're sending to. Otherwise, this will just be blank. You want to find something interesting about this person. So, hey, saw that your business was awarded this reward in the Twin Cities. Congratulations. Start with the compliment. Saw the news on LinkedIn about your recent fundraising round. Congrats to partner with Excel Ventures. Something like that, right? Doesn't have to be amazing, but the goal here is to let the person know that you know who the heck they are, that you have some context to specifically about them and their business, right? This absolutely takes a little bit of extra time, but what is really nice is that you are being personal and you're being a human and you're not just spamming the hell out of everybody, right? So this sets you hopefully apart from the bajillions of other people out there who are just sending a ton of email. The next thing is to tell who you are and what you do and to give a little bit of social proof. And so I have this copy and pasted from another screen. I'll just drop this in so I don't have to type as much. So I would say something like this. I specialize in helping busy podcasters book more amazing guests for their shows. Recently, I helped Emily from Sales Insights podcast to book 20 guests from the New York Times bestseller list. This drove more than 50,000 downloads for her show. This is cool, right? So what does this do? It says what you do, right? So you help busy podcasters book more amazing guests on their show. That's awesome, right? If I'm a podcaster, I would love to have more amazing guests, right? And then you give context. Specifically, you helped Emily from the Sales Insights podcast, right? I want a person and a company or a brand or an entity, right, to do this really specific thing. She booked 20 New York Times bestselling guests. Pretty cool. And the so what, right? And this drove more than 50,000 downloads. So think about the elements of this paragraph. And this is the most important paragraph because if somebody opens your email and they get past the compliment stage, they want to know what the heck is going on here, right? They want to know who you are, why you're emailing them, and what you can provide. And you've done this in 3 sentences. So take the lessons here, again, morph them to fit you, your brand, and kind of what you're doing, and implement the concepts of this. Don't copy this, right? But take and put the elements of you and your value prop into the same kind of template. Cool. And then you want to begin to close. And so you would just say like, is this of interest to you? Or something like, is this on your roadmap for Q3, right? Could you onboard 20 new clients this month? And all you're wanting to do here is just let them say yes or no. Like, don't send a calendar link, don't send a PDF, don't do anything. The goal of the first email is just to introduce yourself, to clearly say who you are and what you do and why it might be of value to them, and then give them the opportunity to allow you to continue the conversation. And then wrap this up with your salutation, right? So thanks, Craig, founder level LLC, right? That's my business. You can put your name, your email here if you want, and you can put your phone number. If you're really in a high touch B2B situation, you definitely want people calling you because that's your best chance of getting to know them and maybe closing the deal, right? So I like very much putting a phone number here if I'm really quite B2B. If I'm a little more kind of product led, first of all, I probably wouldn't be sending cold email, but if I was, I want people to go through kind of a process, right? So book a call and check out the website and do all this stuff, start a free trial. And what these last three do is they let the person receiving this email know that you're a human being. And as weird as that is to say, that's pretty important these days, right? In the era of AI, we kind of need people to know that we're a human. So we put our actual address, not your home address, but your business address. You put a phone number that's a real phone number. You put your email address so that they know, like, hey, I can get in touch with this person, and they actually know kind of what's going on, and they're a human, and they might be able to help me out.